Welcome, esteemed spectators, to the journey of decoding the greatest mystery of the Maya. Centuries before Europe awakened, the Maya fully grasped the precise orbits of the distant stars. They created the concept of zero and grand calendars measuring absolute infinity. Behind that supreme mathematical wisdom lay an incredibly tragic historical truth. Why did those who understood the cosmos consider human vital essence the ultimate price for time? Welcome to the golden era of the ancient Maya amidst the deep jungles of Central America. In the 8th century, while Europeans still languished in the deep darkness of the Middle Ages, the brilliant Maya astronomers quietly constructed a transcendent system of supreme knowledge. Standing atop stone observatories, they tracked the majestic movements of all celestial bodies. Through naked eyes and narrow stone crevices, they calculated the paths of distant planets perfectly. From hieroglyphic chronicles, archaeologists found an absolutely astonishing historic truth: that the people living in this primal jungle invented the magnificent concept of absolute zero. Preceding India and Europe, the Maya zero was visually represented by a seashell shape. This was not a meaningless void, but the fertile seed spawning all the grand infinity of the cosmos. Their mathematical system used base 20, originating from the sum of all fingers and all toes. Instead of 10 complex numbers, they used just 3 incredibly simple and intuitive symbols. The seashell meant 0, a single dot meant 1 unit, and a horizontal bar represented 5. Using just those 3 small symbols, Maya mathematicians could easily reach absolute infinity. They arranged them in layers, stacking from bottom to top to perform truly colossal calculations. Without modern machines or paper, they effortlessly calculated numbers reaching hundreds of millions. These transcendent numbers were used to measure the grand life cycles of millions of stars in the heavens. Thus, they calculated a solar year as 365.2420 days. The tiny error compared to modern computers is merely 17 brief seconds every single year. Western science required thousands of years to finally achieve such an absolute level of precision. But behind the brilliant light of these supreme numbers, an incredibly terrifying darkness began to rise. Ultimate wisdom did not deliver true freedom to those brilliant ancient Maya astronomical scholars. Instead, that mathematical intellect bound them firmly into a truly ruthless machine of dark destiny. Inside suffocating stone rooms filled with heavy torch smoke, the high priests endlessly recorded time. They utilized 2 colossal calendar gears running parallel to control the vital essence of all things. The first wheel was the sacred Tzolk'in calendar, comprising 260 days for pure divination. The second was the solar Hab calendar, featuring 365 days for governing farming. These 2 complex calendars acted like massive gears, tightly and continuously interlocking together. It took exactly 52 full solar years for both grand gears to return to their original starting point. The Maya famously called this lengthy period a calendar round, marking the world's absolute rebirth. Every aspect of their daily lives was strictly controlled by these completely invisible cosmic gears. From choosing planting days and building grand temples, to naming a newborn child just entering this world. But the most terrifying fact is the calendar also dictated the exact moment for tragic warfare. They called it the Venus War, firmly decided based upon the specific position of this distant planet. When Venus ascended to its brightest position, it was a fatal command demanding they take up their arms. The goal was not expanding borders, but capturing the most elite warriors and noble kings alive. Absolute obedience to stellar rules transformed a profoundly wise nation into pure fanatic zealots. If holding supreme knowledge but being blinded by blind faith, is that magnificent glory or dark tragedy? Modern scholars constantly question the very fragile boundary between brilliant genius and dark extremism. The dual time machine left absolutely no escape for those tragic souls born beneath the ancient stars. Their ultimate fate was sealed long before the ancient prophecies even began to completely manifest. As the calendar wheels rolled on, a monumental historic error was carved upon the grand stone steels. Beneath the blazing tropical sun, sweating stone carvers tirelessly chiseled away the essence of time. They were recording the long count calendar, a majestic measurement spanning millions of light years. Unlike the sacred and solar types, the grand long count calendar measured massive linear cycles. Each massive cycle was called a baktun, equivalent to roughly 394 solar years. Using the magnificent zero system, the stone carvers could truly record all cosmic history. But this remarkably complex long count calendar created a shocking misunderstanding worldwide. Years ago, the entire world truly panicked over an ancient prophecy of absolute destruction. That was the dark milestone of December 21st, 2012, in our modern calendar. Modern historical records completely rejected this entirely baseless and entirely false fabrication. The ancient Maya never predicted a day when the Earth would explode or face total destruction. That day was simply the final concluding moment of an incredibly lengthy 13th Baktun cycle. This ancient civilization's mindset firmly rejected the absolute conclusion of any living world. Time is an eternal loop. When one grand cycle finally closes, a completely new era proudly begins. 2012 was not total destruction, but rather the magnificent cosmic moment of grand rebirth. That stolen prophecy completely overshadowed the true marvels of Maya math and grand calendar arts. In truth, they merely wanted to build eternal time machines to connect with their mighty divine gods. Historic stone slabs rest silently in the forest, preserving a deep secret that time can never erase. They calculated everything precisely but one single element that shook the royal empire's foundation. That was the extremely harsh climate change and the highly tragic sacrifice their demanding gods required. Every final gaze ultimately focused upon the central core of the mighty city-state named Chichen Itza. Amidst a massive stone plaza, the great Kukulkan Pyramid stood proudly, reaching the high heavenly clouds. This was not just a worship temple, but a stone time machine built with absolute and perfect precision. Each side features exactly 91 steps, plus the top stone platform equals 365. This number perfectly represents the total days in a single year of the majestic Hab solar calendar. Twice each year on the spring and autumn equinoxes, a truly magical phenomenon appears upon the stairs. The fading sunlight shines through the edges, projecting 7 incredibly sharp and massive dark triangles. These light illusions connect perfectly to the carved stone serpent head at the majestic temple's grand base. It forms the image of a feathered serpent slithering gracefully downward, from the high heavens to the earth. According to ancient texts, This is when deities descend to bestow blessings for a bountiful harvest. Yet this perfect cosmic harmony demanded an absolutely priceless life force to be fully sustained. Suffocating tension filled the temple peak, where high priests stood tall beneath flickering torchlight. The Maya truly believed that if the gears of time stopped turning, the entire world would instantly collapse. Facing the deep fear of cosmic doom, can mankind truly justify the most terrifying and brutal acts? Beneath the cold steps, defeated warriors, stripped of their proud armor, knelt downward in absolute despair. The high priest's fanatic eyes gleamed in the deep darkness as he raised the sharp obsidian dagger high. The black blade tore through the night, claiming the tragic souls of the defeated as offerings to the stars. The crimson essence flowed down the pristine white limestone steps, becoming the ultimate currency of time. Hidden in shadows, the scholar blankly gazed at the perfectly flawless stellar orbits in the night sky. All brutality was justified by supreme and chillingly perfect calculations of the cosmos. A civilization grasping infinity, yet imprisoned by its very own highly ruthless intelligence. The gears of time coldly continued to turn, crushing fragile mortal lives within an endless cosmic loop. The greatness of the ancient Maya remains a permanent paradox between pure knowledge and dark fanaticism. Do you think that tragic mindset is pure barbarism or a grand desire to survive? Please leave a comment. Remember to like, share this video, and subscribe to easily catch our next amazing historic episode.